Right, so how do we get the mind to lead the chi? One way that works fairly well for me is to visualize the skeleton, right? So just keeping it simple. I'm just gonna do a opposite rotation like this, right? So as I rotate, I want to feel movement in my wrist. I think of it starting in my fingertips, though. There's like a spiral in my fingers, right? And then it spirals through the wrist, forearm, the elbow, shoulder. Shoulder blade rotates up a little bit, right? And the other side's doing the opposite. The movement continues into my chest, into my ribs, into my spine, down through my hips, all the way into the ground. So there's like a feeling of a weight shift. But if I were to imagine that someone's going to pull on my middle finger, like my right middle finger, that tension will pull my arm in that direction. And I could feel that there could be a connection between both of my fingers, right, on the left side and the right side, right? So it pulls me over that way, pulls me over that way. So I kind of visualize it like someone's doing the work for me. So then what I do is I place my attention, I go into my fingers, right? I can look at the fingers, right? Because looking will actually represent your mind with your eyes, and that will bring the attention, the focus into the hands, and the chi will follow the mind, right? So I look and I feel there's the energy, right? I feel it. Then I bring the energy into this hand, right? So it's like I'm pulling the chi from one arm into the other, right? So this, for me, for now, I'm thinking this is becoming full, right? This is becoming empty, right? And then I start to shift my focus from my right fingers into my left, and I start to feel that the pull of the energy goes in the opposite direction. Once I feel it, I feel that the chi is moved that way, then I let my body move. Right? So again, now I'm pulling towards my right finger, I feel it, then I let my body move. All right, so that's kind of setting up an experiment, you could call it, but it works. Right? So the experiment basically is mind moves the chi, chi moves the body. Right? Ultimately, we're kind of existing in linear time. So, as I set this up, it's like there's a lag. I'm like, mind, fingers, and then I feel it, and then my body moves. So it's like, oh, that takes 5 seconds to get the chi to move. But it's like, that's not the way life works, right? It's instantaneous, right? So everything's instantaneous. Arms get tired after a while. Right, so we can go back to this sort of a ball image. If it's a sticky elastic dough, I can pull the dough this way, or I can pull it up. Right, so I can kind of, in effect, pull the chi from one hand into the other, and I make one side feel full and the other's empty. Right, so it could be as simple as just thinking of your left hand and then your right hand, right? And you feel that there's a shift just by thinking of that. There's all kinds of things you can do with this chi exploration. These movements that we're doing, and different qigongs. It's like you can visualize and feel that you're moving energy, through the meridians, through the body. Right? But I'm a little more interested just in the practical applications of this kind of thing. Right? So if we just kind of go into cloud hands, what I'm really looking for is that my arms feel connected. Right? To initially learn, you would just work with one arm. Some variation of a circle. Remember, you're slightly sunk in your hips. Right? So your joints are soft. Right? Try the other way. Imagine that you're moving through water. Right? Then we'll get the two moving together a little more mechanically. Right? So here, I'll turn my palms facing each other, and then I'll push them into each other. Right? So it's like you're feeling like there's a thick substance that you're moving through. Right? Feel the legs. Right? Let your legs do some of the participating movement. Right? If you just go like this through your arms, it doesn't feel like you're very connected. So feel the legs. So once you're here, just turn both of them at the same time. And then again, palms face each other and repeat that. Right? So turn. There, remember your hips and your shoulders, they form a rectangle. And the rotation comes from the hips, not from the middle back and the ribs, right? Don't twist in the back. It just creates tension. If you're going to twist, it would be only at the end, right? So not in the beginning. Right? So it's hips. Right? So then you start to smooth it out a little bit. Right? So you let this one feel gravity, this one floats up. And it's left hand, right hand. Both are connected. Right? Keep the shoulders relaxed, the elbows heavy. Common mistake is people go too high and the shoulders get tense. You can go up like this, but just make sure that you're not getting tension in the shoulders. Right? You could watch your hands. Right? Imagine the movement comes from the ground and is expressed through the hands. Or imagine the movement comes from your center. And feel the difference. Good. Gather the chi. Go into your tree posture. Stand for a few moments. Notice what you notice. Right? If you notice that your shoulders get tight or tired really quickly, you just lower them down. And then you could repeat it. Right? So just finish. Gather the chi into your center. Finish in Wuji posture. Right? Connect to the ground. Connect to the space that surrounds you. that's above you. Okay? And practice